Chapter 11 Blood Spirit Secret Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The City Lord wants me to go to the City Lord's mansion. Looking at the information on the identity token, Yang Feng frowned and muttered softly, Xiantian City Lord Li Su is the controller of Xiantian City and the great elder of the inner sect of Xiantian sect. Yang Feng dared not disobey the order of Xiantian City Lord Li Su, therefore, after a mutter, Yang Feng got up and left the practice room and walked towards the City Lord's mansion. When Yang Feng arrived at the Xiantian City Lord's manor, the guards had already received the notice and immediately took Yang Feng to a reception room deep in the City Lord's mansion. Outer sect disciple Yang Feng, meet the City Lord. Looking at Li Su on the main seat in the reception room, Yang Feng saluted and greeted him respectfully. That's right. At the peak of Gangxi realm, a little spiritual power has been born. Just work harder and increase the spiritual power to break the gate of heaven, open up the sea of consciousness, generate magic power, and be promoted to a cultivator of the magic power realm. Li Su glanced at Yang Feng, a look of surprise flashed in his eyes, and praised with a smile on his face. Thank you for the praise, Lord City Lord. I wonder what the Lord City Lord wants me to do. Yang Feng thanked him and asked when he opened the door. I called you here to see if you are as strong as the legend says. As soon as I saw you, I found that you are much stronger than the legend says. In a month, the Blood Spirit Secret Realm will be opened. You and the elite outer disciples of Xiantian sect will go to explore the Blood Spirit Secret Realm together. This jade slip contains detailed information about the Blood Spirit Secret Realm. Take it back and read it carefully. Here is a bottle of Xuanhuan pill, which can increase your spiritual power and improve your cultivation strength. You should practice well in this month and work hard to improve your cultivation strength. However, you must not break through the bottleneck of the Gangxi realm and try to enter the Mana realm within this month. If you want to be promoted to a Mana realm cultivator, you must enter the Blood Spirit Secret Realm before breaking through the bottleneck of the Gangxi realm. Here, take these jade talismans. They can save your life at a critical moment. Li Su responded with a smile. While speaking, Li Su waved his hand, and a bottle of pills, a jade slip, and 4 jade talismans flew out of his body and flew to Yang Feng. Thank you for the reward, Lord City Lord. Yang Feng took the pills, jade slips, and jade talismans, put them into the ring, and thanked him respectfully. You can go back now. Remember to report to the City Lord's mansion on time in a month. Seeing Yang Feng move, Li Su smiled slightly. Yes, Lord City Lord. Yang Feng responded respectfully, then turned and left the reception room and walked outside. It's a good seedling. If you can come back alive from the Blood Spirit Secret Realm, your future will be limitless. Looking at the direction where Yang Feng left, Li Su sighed softly. There is no specific information about the Blood Spirit Secret Realm, and there is no way to make some targeted preparations. I can only try to improve my cultivation strength and increase my ability to save my life, so as to respond to changes with the same attitude. Yang Feng returned to the dormitory, read the situation of the Blood Spirit Secret Realm carefully, and couldn't help but mutter softly. According to the intelligence that Li Su had heard, the Blood Spirit Secret Realm is a cave world created by a great power, mainly used to cultivate the extremely precious spiritual grass Blood Spirit Grass. Blood Spirit Grass can make the blood of fierce beasts and monsters evolve, and have a blood far more powerful than monsters. At the same time, Blood Spirit Grass can also make the blood of human cultivators evolve. Although the effect of taking Blood Spirit Grass by human cultivators is not as obvious as that of fierce beasts and monsters, it is also very useful. It can purify the blood of human cultivators and enhance their talents. More importantly, Blood Spirit Grass is the main material for refining the blood elixir of the Supreme Spiritual Pill Blood Vein Pill, and Blood Vein Pill is a kind of top-grade spiritual pill that can activate the blood of human cultivators far away from their ancestors, and it is extremely precious. Therefore, the Blood Spirit Grass is also a very precious spiritual grass for human cultivators. Therefore, after discovering the existence of the Blood Spirit Secret Realm, the 5 major sects of Xiantian domain have always wanted to open the Blood Spirit Secret Realm and pick the Blood Spirit Grass in it. However, the Blood Spirit Secret Realm is a cave world created by the Supreme Being, and the laws are extremely perfect. The 5 major sects of Xiantian domain are simply unable to open the blood spirit secret realm. After more than 100 years of exploration, the 5 major sects of Xiantian domain finally found a way to open the blood spirit secret realm. However, this method has great flaws. It can only open a temporary passage to the blood spirit secret realm, allowing warriors above the mana realm to enter it, but not allowing cultivators above the mana realm to enter it. At the same time, the number of people entering the blood spirit secret realm is also greatly limited. A maximum of 50,000 people can enter, and there is only one chance to enter. After this time, the method that the 5 major sects of Xiantian domain came up with will be invalid, and they can only continue to explore and find other ways to enter the blood spirit secret realm. Therefore, the 5 major sects of Xiantian domain attach great importance to this opportunity and are ready to send the most powerful outer disciples of the sect to enter the blood spirit secret realm so that they can get the most benefits from the blood spirit secret realm. This is also the reason why Li Su summoned Yang Feng as soon as he heard of Yang Feng's reputation, checked Yang Feng's strength, and asked him to participate in the blood spirit secret realm expedition. After a murmur, Yang Feng took out a bottle of Xuanling pill from the space ring, poured out a pill, and swallowed it. As soon as the Xuanling pill was swallowed, a stream of pure yuanqi emanated from it, which was absorbed and refined by Yang Feng through the Xiantian Ju to increase his spiritual power. After using the cultivation effect 10,000 times return system, Yang Feng's spiritual power increased a lot, which made a gleam of light flash in his eyes. He immediately continued to take Xuanling pill and continued to practice. A week later, Yang Feng refined the bottle of Xuanling pill given by Li Su, and his spiritual power soared several times, and his comprehensive strength and combat effectiveness also increased by several times. He could attack the bottleneck of Gangxi realm and Tianmen at any time to see if he could break through it. However, at this time, Yang Feng did not dare to attack the bottleneck of Gangxi realm at will. It's good that he didn't break through it. If he breaks through and is promoted to a mana realm cultivator, he will not be able to enter the blood spirit secret realm. Yang Feng will just wait to be punished by Li Su. At the same time, Yang Feng feels that his mental power is not perfect yet, and there is still room for condensation, so he does not need to rush to attack the heavenly gate. Without the assistance of Xuanling Dan, Yang Feng no longer cultivates mental power, and begins to practice Dragon Elephant Gong to improve his physical strength. With the assistance of the 10,000 times return system of cultivation effect, Yang Feng can increase his strength by 10,000 kilograms by practicing Dragon Elephant Gong once. Practicing for 2 hours a day can increase 20,000 kilograms, which is 200 bulls of strength, which is extremely terrifying, and Yang Feng, who has a large number of Xuanhuan Dan in his body, does not have to worry about the energy consumption problem of practicing Dragon Elephant Gong. Practicing for 2 hours a day is completely fine. In this way, in the next half-month, Yang Feng practiced the Dragon Elephant skill for 2 hours every day, and then rested for 4 hours to relax. When there was still a week before the opening of the blood spirit secret realm, Yang Feng's physical strength reached 3 million kilograms, which was 3 bulls, directly exceeding the 2 bulls of the cultivator who had just entered the mana realm. At this time, Yang Feng did not continue to practice the Dragon Elephant skill, but got up and left the dormitory and walked towards the Sutra Pavilion in the main urban area of Xiantian City. Obviously, before Yang Feng was ready to enter the blood spirit secret realm, he selected some martial arts in the Sutra Pavilion to increase his own strength, combat effectiveness, and adaptability. Chapter 12 Gambling Battle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Feng is finally closed. Yang Feng is extremely talented and practices very hard. How can such a person rise to prominence? Yang Feng is simply an ascetic monk. After coming to Xiantian City, he spent most of his time practicing in seclusion, which is no fun at all. Seeing Yang Feng coming from the dormitory, the disciples of the East Campus started talking among themselves, with envy and jealousy in their eyes. Yang Feng ignored the comments from the disciples of the East Campus and walked straight towards the main city. Soon, Yang Feng arrived in front of the Sutra Pavilion in the main city. However, when Yang Feng wanted to enter the scripture collection pavilion, he was stopped by someone. Yang Feng, I am Sun Hui, the 10th member of the elite list. I heard that you have entered the top 10 of the elite list. I am very convinced. I want you to compete with me. I know you dare to accept my challenge." Without waiting for Yang Feng to get angry and ask, the young man blocked Yang Feng's way and said loudly with a fighting spirit on his face. "What dare you do?" "Yes, I like to fight without success. Let's do this. Let's bet a big bet on 100 bottles of Xuanhuan Dan. How about that?" Yang Feng looked at the young man in front of him who had a fighting spirit on his face and said in a calm tone. "Can." As soon as Yang Feng finished speaking, Sun Hui responded hesitantly. After saying that, Sun Hui waved his hand, and 100 bottles of Xuanhuan Dan flew from his space ring and landed on the open space on one side of the Sutra Pavilion. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng didn't hesitate at all. With a wave of his hand, he took out 100 bottles of Xuanhuan pill from the space ring and threw it into the open space on the side of the Sutra Pavilion. Yang Feng and Sun Hui's actions soon attracted the attention of the disciples near the Tibetan scripture pavilion. They gathered around and started talking softly. Sun Hui is a veteran disciple of our West Academy's sect. He has been ranked 10th on the sect's elite list for a year. He is extremely powerful. Yang Feng is bound to lose. That's for sure. Although Yang Feng started relatively late, he is an unparalleled talent and his cultivation speed is fast. His overall strength will definitely surpass Sun Hui's soon. The Lord of the City has said personally that Yang Feng possesses the top 10 most powerful warriors in the elite list. Sun Hui is definitely Yang Feng's opponent. The City Lord has a keen eye and will definitely see it wrong, so Sun Hui will definitely lose. Hearing the discussion of the disciples around him, Sun Hui's eyes flashed with overwhelming anger. He gave a light drink, incited the Gang Qi in his body, condensed a Gang Qi long sword, and used the Xiantian sword technique to attack Yang Feng. Rushed away, Sun Hui is worthy of being the 10th strong man in the elite list of the sect, but he has cultivated to the peak of Gang Qi and given birth to spiritual power. He has also cultivated the first level of Xiantian sword technique to the level of Xiaocheng, stabbing with one sword. The sword light is sharp and powerful, and it can easily kill the warriors in the late stage of Gang Qi instantly. However, Yang Feng has cultivated to the peak of Gang Qi, and his spiritual power is extremely solid and powerful, reaching the level of being able to impact the Tian men, far surpassing Sun Hui. At the same time, Yang Feng has cultivated the first level of Xiantian sword technique to the peak level and comprehended Xiantian sword intent, which is far comparable to Sun Hui's Xiaocheng state. Therefore, when Yang Feng stirred up the Gang Qi in his body, condensed the Gang Qi into the long sword, and used the Xiantian sword technique to attack Sun Hui, he smashed Sun Hui's Gang Qi long sword into pieces with one sword, and used the remaining force. The sword passed over Sun Hui's head and chopped off a few strands of Sun Hui's hair. "I lost." Sun Hui glanced at the short hair falling from his head, and a helpless look flashed in his eyes. He muttered softly, moved his body, and quickly left the vicinity of the Sutra Pavilion. Yang Feng actually killed Sun Hui instantly with one sword strike. This was so fierce. Sun Hui is the 10th strong man on the elite list of the sect. How could he be killed instantly by Yang Feng's sword? Yang Feng is too powerful. Yang Feng is worthy of being the peerless genius of our Xiantian sect. He is indeed so terrifying. Yang Feng's strength and combat power should be comparable to those at the top of the elite list of the sect. Seeing Yang Feng defeating Sun Hui with a sword, the expressions of the observing disciples all around him changed greatly, and they exclaimed in surprise. Many of these disciples knew that Sun Hui would lose and Yang Feng would win, but they didn't expect that Yang Feng would win so cleanly and Sun Hui would lose so miserably. Hearing the exclamations and comments from the disciples around him, Yang Feng's expression changed. He quickly walked to the 200 bottles of Xuanhuan Dan, waved his hand, put it into the space ring, and walked towards the Sutra Pavilion. At the gate of the Tibetan scripture pavilion, Yang Feng showed his identity card and entered smoothly. Immediately afterwards, rows of bookshelves filled with various kinds of magic and martial arts came into Yang Feng's field of vision. A light flashed in Yang Feng's eyes, and he could not help but sigh in his heart. Xiantian sect is worthy of Xiantian. One of the 5 major sects in the domain, the collection of books is really rich and shocking. Elder, I am relatively powerful and want to practice some martial arts that can take advantage of my strength. At the same time, I also want to practice some body movement martial arts and some breath-concealing martial arts. Do you know what the elders suggest? After a while of emotion, young Feng walked up to the elder at the gate of the Buddhist scripture pavilion and asked in a respectful tone, "There are only hundreds of thousands of volumes of martial arts in the hall on the first floor of the Sutra Library in Xiantian City, covering everything. Young Feng does not have time to choose one by one, therefore, young Feng can only ask the elders of the Sutra Library for help. After all, the elders of the Sutra Library know the laws of the Sutra Library very well and are very familiar with them, which is much better than searching and reading them one by one. Hercules' fist, when you practice to the peak state, you can make your strength play 9 times the attack power. It is an extremely powerful force-enhancing martial art. Hercules' Vajra Palm, when you practice to the peak, as long as you have enough strength, you can smash even magic weapons with one palm, which is very fierce. Vajra Iron Shirt, when you practice to the peak, your whole body is like iron, and it is difficult to be injured by swords and knives. Even quasi-magic weapons cannot break the Iron Shirt defense. It is an extremely powerful physical body defensive martial arts. Shadow-like steps, when practiced to the peak, the body is extremely flexible, like a shadow, and extremely fast. It is the top body skills below the mana realm cultivators. Turtle breath, when practiced to the peak, you can enter a state of suspended animation, with no breath at all, just like a dead person. It is an extremely powerful concealment method. These methods are on the 10th row of bookshelves, the second bookshelf, the first row. The elder of the Sutra Pavilion glanced at Yang Feng and said in a flat tone, "Thank you, elder, this is a little gift from the kid, please accept it." After getting the information he wanted, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with surprise, and he immediately took out 10 bottles of essence pills from the space ring and handed them to the elder of the Sutra Pavilion to thank him. "Essence pills are useless to me, keep them for yourself." The elder of the Sutra Pavilion waved his hand and said carelessly. After saying that, the elder of the Sutra repository lay down on a comfortable chair and closed his eyes to take a nap. Seeing this, Yang Feng thanked him, put away the essence pill, and followed the instructions of the elder of the Sutra repository to find the martial arts he needed. "Today, I have a little good fortune. It must be an opportunity to help me break through the bottleneck and enter a higher realm." The elder of the Sutra repository opened his eyes, glanced at Yang Feng's back, muttered in his heart, closed his eyes, and continued to take a nap. Chapter 13 Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! You have practiced the Great Divine Fist once, and the training effect has returned 10,000 times. Your Great Divine Fist has reached its peak, allowing you to unleash 9 times the attack power. Ding! You have practiced the Great Vajra Palm once, and the training effect has been returned 10,000 times. Your Great Vajra Palm has reached its peak, and your palm is unparalleled. Ding! You have practiced the Vajra Iron Shirt once, and the effect of your practice has been returned 10,000 times. Your Vajra Iron Shirt has reached its peak, and your whole body is like iron. It is hard to be hurt by swords. Ding! You have practiced the Shadow Walking Step once, and the effect of your practice has been returned 10,000 times. Your Shadow Walking Step has reached its peak, and your body is extremely flexible, and you can follow the Shadow Body Step. Amidst the crisp prompts, Yang Feng cultivated each martial skill to its peak, his comprehensive strength and combat skills improved rapidly, and his survivability increased greatly. Soon, it was time to gather. At this time, Yang Feng left the dormitory and walked directly in the direction of the Lord's mansion of Xuanhuan City. When Yang Feng came to the palace of the City Lord of Xian City, there were already more than 10,000 people gathered in Nuada's martial arts field. All of them had powerful auras and had the cultivation strength of the Gangqi realm. However, only half of these more than 10,000 people are elite disciples from the outer sect of Xianjin sect, while the other half are elite disciples from affiliated sects and affiliated families of Xianjin sect. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged. He casually found an uninhabited corner and sat cross-legged, waiting quietly. The Lord of the city is here. As a loud voice sounded in the martial arts arena, everyone involuntarily turned their attention to Li Su. Feeling everyone's gaze, Li Su's expression remained unchanged and he said in a calm tone, I have already given you the detailed information of the blood spirit secret realm, so I won't say more. Let me briefly explain the rules for exploring the blood spirit secret realm. First of all disciples who participate in the blood spirit secret realm will receive a basic reward of 1 sect contribution point. This reward for the sect's contribution will be given directly to you if you come back alive. If you unfortunately die in the blood spirit secret realm, this sect contribution will be converted into Xuanhuan Dan and sent to your relatives. Secondly, all the blood spirit grass you obtained in the blood spirit secret realm must be turned in. The sect will give you corresponding contribution values, elixirs, martial arts skills, weapons and equipment, etc. based on the quantity and quality of the blood spirit grass you turn in. Award. Finally, all the other items you obtained in the blood spirit secret realm belong to you, and are your rewards for participating in the blood spirit secret realm adventure. Having said this, Li Su waved his hand, and bloody rings flew out from his space ring and fell into the palms of Yang Feng and many other disciples. This is the blood spirit ring. It can sense the blood spirit grass within a radius of 3,000 meters. You must wear it and don't lose it. Otherwise, the difficulty of finding the blood spirit grass will increase several times. At this time, Li Su's loud voice rang in the ears of Yang Feng and others, which made Yang Feng and others' hearts move, and they quickly put the blood spirit rings on their wrists. Seeing that Yang Feng and others had put on the blood spirit rings, Li Su thought, and a ray of silver light flew out from his body, transforming into a silver battleship that was 1,000 feet long, more than 6 feet wide, and more than 3 feet high, suspended in the air. A bright spiritual light was released above the martial arts arena. Low-grade Taoist silver light battleship. I heard that there are 80 silver light cannons and 1 main gun on the silver light battleship. The silver light cannon can easily kill the Yuanshan realm monks, and the main gun can kill the Luo realm monks. It is extremely terrifying and powerful. Are we going to take the silver light battleship to the secret realm of blood spirit? This is so exciting. It's such a surprise that I have the opportunity to ride on the silver light battleship. I wish I had a Taoist weapon. I don't need a Taoist weapon. If you have a treasure weapon, I will thank you. Don't talk about treasures. I have a spiritual weapon, and I owe it to my 18 generations of ancestors. Seeing the silver battleship above the martial arts arena, many of the outer sect elite disciples on the martial arts arena exclaimed, their eyes full of excitement and excitement. Come up, everyone. Following Li Su's soft drink, streams of pure magic gushed out from his body, and strong winds condensed on the martial arts field. They rolled up Yang Feng and others and sent them to the silver battleship. In a matter of seconds, Yang Feng and more than 10,000 disciples were all swept onto the silver battleship by the strong wind. At this time, Li Su flew onto the silver battleship with a movement of his body, activated the silver battleship, turned into a silver stream of light, left Xuanhuan, and flew into the distance. After a long time, the silver battleship flew over a huge barren mountain and waited quietly. Soon, a huge golden sword exuding terrifying power, accompanied by more than 10,000 Gangqi realm disciples wearing white clothes and swords hanging at their waists, came galloping from a distance and stopped at a corner of the barren mountain. A golden battleship that was 1,000 feet long and more than 8 feet wide, exuding bright golden light, brought more than 10,000 female disciples of the Gangqi realm in colorful clothes and various poses to the sky above the barren mountain, suspended motionless. An extremely huge black spider puppet, thousands of feet long and several feet wide, carried more than 10,000 Gangqi realm disciples wearing black clothes and carrying a huge package. It flew over the barren mountain, occupied a corner, and hovered motionless. A flying beast with a wingspan of more than 2,000 feet long and more than 1,000 feet wide, carrying more than 10,000 disciples of the beast tamer sect, flew over the barren mountain, occupied a corner, and hovered motionlessly. The people from the Divine Sword Villa, the Ice God Palace, the Puppet Sect, and the Beast Tamer Sect have arrived. This time, the Blood Spirit Secret Realm operation will be very tragic. I don't know how many disciples will die in the blood spirit secret realm. Looking at the other disciples of the faction not far away, Yang Feng's eyes flashed, and he muttered secretly in his heart, the blood spirit grass in the blood spirit secret realm is extremely precious. Xian sect, Divine Sword Villa, the Ice God Palace, the Puppet sect, and the Beast Tamer sect are all determined to get it. After entering the blood spirit secret realm, the disciples of the great faction and its subordinate factions will definitely engage in fierce and cruel fighting because of the blood spirit grass. Even the disciples of the great faction and its subordinate factions will also engage in cruel fighting because of the blood spirit grass. Therefore, the action of exploring the secret realm of the blood spirit will be very cruel, and those who can finally return alive will definitely be very rare. While young Feng was muttering, Li Su took off into the air, left the Silver Light Worship, and flew to the top of the barren mountain. At the same time, the leaders of the Divine Sword Villa, the Ice God Palace, the Puppet Gate, and the Beast Taming sect also took off into the air and flew to the top of the barren mountain. Chapter 14 Entering the Blood Spirit Secret Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone, without further ado, let's move now and open the space channel leading to the Blood Spirit Secret Realm. Li Su looked at the elders of the four major sects, the Ice God Palace, the Divine Sword Villa, the Puppet Gate, and the Beast Taming sect, not far away, and said in a calm tone. I have no problem. I have no problem. I agree. I agree, that the elders of the four major sects, the Ice God Palace, the Divine Sword Villa, the Puppet Gate, and the Beast Taming sect, all nodded in agreement. After receiving the affirmative answers from the elders of the four major sects, Li Su's mind moved, and a space array flew out from his body, suspended above his head, releasing waves of terrifying space fluctuations. Seeing Li Su's actions, the elders of the four major sects, the Ice God Palace, the Divine Sword Villa, the Puppet Gate, and the Beast Taming sect, also released space arrays one by one, making them float above their heads, releasing terrifying space fluctuations. Soon, the spatial fluctuations released by the 5 spatial arrays merged together to form a dazzling light that blasted into the void. Boom! 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 Amidst the violent roars, a huge spatial crack was blasted out by the dazzling light. At this time, Li Su and the elders of the four major sects, the Ice God Palace, the Divine Sword Villa, the Puppet sect, and the Beast Taming sect, all frantically mobilized the magic in their bodies and poured it into the spatial array above their heads, making it shine brightly and releasing terrifying spatial energy, which sank into the spatial crack. Soon, a huge spatial channel was formed in the spatial crack and suspended in the void on the top of the barren mountain. You can go in now. After 3 months, if you are still alive, you will be automatically expelled from the blood spirit secret realm and returned here. Finally, I wish you good luck and come back alive. As the space channel took shape, Li Su put away the space array above his head, returned to the Silver Light Worship, and said loudly to Yang Feng and other Shantian sect disciples. While speaking, Li Su waved his hand, and a gust of wind appeared out of thin air, swept Yang Feng and others, and threw them into the space channel. At the same time, the elders of the four major sects of Bingshan Palace, Shenzhen Villa, Puppet Sect, and Yusho Sect also used magic to cast their disciples into the space channel. Whoosh! 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 Accompanied by a series of crisp sounds of breaking through the air, one by one, the disciples of the 5 major sects entered the space channel and disappeared. Is this the blood spirit secret realm? Such a rich spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Practicing here will be many times faster than my practice in the East Courtyard. Yes, it's a pity that I can only stay here for 3 months, and I have to look for the blood spirit grass. I don't have much time to practice here. Looking at the lush forests around him and feeling the rich spiritual energy between heaven and earth, Yang Feng's eyes lit up and he couldn't help but sighed softly. After a sigh, Yang Feng glanced at the blood spirit ring on his left wrist and found that there was no reaction on it. He knew that there was no blood spirit grass within 3 meters. He picked up the Qin Feng sword and randomly chose a direction to go. Ah! 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 Not long after Yang Feng walked in the forest, a series of shrill wolf howls sounded in the jungle beside him. A blue wolf, more than 100 meters tall, covered with blue hair and emitting cold murderous intent, emerged from the jungle beside Yang Feng and surrounded Yang Feng. Its blood-red eyes stared at Yang Feng quietly. At the command of the Blue Wolf King, these blue wolves will pounce on Yang Feng, tear him into pieces, and devour him. 8 first-level ferocious blue wolves. Looking at the blue wolves that surrounded him, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged and he muttered softly. According to the records in the Xuanhuan sect, the ferocious beasts are divided into 5 levels, corresponding to the 3 realms of warriors in the human race, the true Qi realm, the true essence realm, and the Gang Qi realm, and the 7 realms of cultivators, the Law realm, the Yin and Yang realm, the heavenly realm, the supernatural realm, the golden elixir realm, the primordial infant realm, and the primordial spirit realm. Because of their huge size and bloodline fighting talents, fierce beasts are often stronger than warriors and cultivators of the same level. Under normal circumstances, it takes several warriors and cultivators of the same level to unite to kill a fierce beast of the same level. Although the 8 first-level fierce beasts, the blue wolves, are fierce beasts of the Xuanhuan realm, they can kill an ordinary 3rd-level Gangqi realm warrior when they unite. However, Yang Feng is not an ordinary Gangqi realm warrior and is not afraid of these 8 first-level fierce beasts, the blue wolves. AO. 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 While Yang Feng was muttering and thinking, loud wolf howls came from the depths of the jungle. At this time, the 8 first-level fierce beasts, the blue wolves, which were more than 10 meters tall, moved one after another, turned into green afterimages, and pounced directly on Yang Feng. During this process, the mouths of these ferocious beasts, the blue wolves, opened wide, revealing 2 rows of sharp teeth, and their sharp claws were slightly raised, ready to tear Yang Feng into pieces. Xiantian sword technique. Facing the attack of 8 level 1 ferocious beasts, the blue wolves, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged. He shouted softly, and the internal energy surged. The Qin Feng sword in his body was swung out, and sharp sword lights shot out, meeting the 8 level 1 ferocious beasts. Bang! 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 Amidst the crisp sounds, the 8 level 1 ferocious beasts, the blue wolves, were pierced through the heads by the sharp sword lights, blood splattered, and fell to the ground, becoming cold corpses. At this time, Yang Feng moved and deployed the shadowless step. He disappeared instantly and appeared in the jungle not far away from him. He rushed towards the 3rd-order Green Wolf King hidden in the jungle. Ouch! 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 Seeing Yang Feng charging rapidly, a fierce light flashed in the eyes of the 3rd-level Green Wolf King, and he roared angrily. His body moved, turning into a green afterimage, and took the initiative to meet Yang Feng, waving his sharp claws, trying to tear Yang Feng into pieces. However, before the 3rd-level Green Wolf King came close to Yang Feng, the Qin Feng sword released a bright sword light, piercing his head, causing blood to spatter, and he died tragically on the spot. The claws and teeth of the 3rd-level Green Wolf are very hard and sharp. They are the materials for making magical weapons. They are valuable and cannot be wasted. After killing the 3rd-level Green Wolf King, Yang Feng whispered softly, walked to the body of the 3rd-level Green Wolf King with the Qin Feng sword, dug out all the claws and teeth of the Green Wolf King, and put them into the space ring. Afterwards, Yang Feng walked away towards the distance holding the bloody Qin Feng sword. As for the claws and teeth of the 8 green wolves, Yang Feng gave up directly because their value was too low. Drop. 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 When Yang Feng came near a valley, a series of crisp prompts were released from the blood spirit ring on his left wrist. Yang Feng's heart moved and he quickly looked towards the blood spirit ring. I saw a bloody arrow appearing on the blood spirit ring, pointing in the direction of the valley. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng didn't hesitate at all. He immediately picked up the Qin Feng sword and galloped towards the valley. Chapter 15 Blood Spirit Grass and Sneak Attack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Blood Spirit Grass. Looking at the blood spirit grass not far away, which was about 10 meters tall, had blood-colored leaves, and exuded a faint fragrance, Yang Feng's eyes lit up and he whispered to himself, roar. 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 While Yang Feng was talking to himself, angry roars came from not far away. A leopard about 10 meters tall, covered with colorful hair, came out of a cave near the blood spirit grass, opened his eyes wide, stared at young Feng, and opened his mouth wide, making angry roars, trying to drive young Feng away. A third-level fierce beast leopard. This should be the guardian fierce beast of the blood spirit grass. Looking at the leopard not far away, young Feng moved and whispered softly, the blood spirit grass can make the blood of fierce beasts and monsters evolve, and have the powerful blood of ancient monsters. Therefore, every blood spirit grass is guarded by fierce beasts and monsters, under normal circumstances. Blood spirit grass with a year of less than 100 years is guarded by beasts of level 3 or below. Blood spirit grass with a year of 100 years or more is guarded by beasts of level 4 or more, or even demon beasts. The older the blood spirit grass is, the better the effect is, and the stronger the guarding beast is. Blood spirit grass with a year of 10,000 years or more can allow demon beasts to awaken the blood of their ancestors, possess the powerful blood of ancient demon beasts, and be guarded by demon beasts of the realm of law or above. The age of the blood spirit grass in the valley is about 90 years, not far from 100 years. Therefore, the strength of the guardian beast of the blood spirit grass in the valley, the leopard, is not weak, and it is an extremely powerful existence among the level 3 demon beasts. However, young Feng is very powerful, and his aura is also very strong, which makes the leopard extremely afraid. This is also the reason why the third-level fierce beast leopard did not attack young Feng immediately, but chose to roar and drive young Feng away. I want this blood spirit grass. After a mutter, young Feng shouted, holding the Qing Feng sword, and strode towards the direction of the blood spirit grass. Roar! 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 Seeing young Feng's actions, a fierce light flashed in the leopard's eyes, and it let out a series of angry beast roars. Then, the leopard moved, turned into a residual image, and pounced directly on young Feng's body. During this process, the leopard's mouth opened slightly, revealing 2 rows of sharp teeth, and its sharp claws stretched out, ready to tear young Feng into pieces. Xiantian sword technique. Looking at the leopard approaching rapidly, young Feng shouted softly, and the internal qi surged. The Xiantian sword technique was performed, and the Qing Feng sword in his hand was swung out. A sharp sword light shot out from his hand and chopped down the leopard's body. Bang! With a crisp metal collision sound, the sharp sword light was shattered by the leopard's sharp claws, turned into a little light, and disappeared into thin air. Afterwards, the leopard flashed through the void like lightning and approached young Feng's side. Its sharp claws, with a sharp edge, slashed towards young Feng's neck, as if it wanted to chop off young Feng's head. Seeing this scene, young Feng's expression did not change. The internal qi surged, and the Qing Feng sword in his hand was swung out, with a sharp edge, stabbing towards the leopard's head. Bang! With a crisp metal collision sound, the sharp edge of the Qing Feng sword pierced the leopard's head like lightning, causing blood to splatter and die tragically on the spot. At this time, the leopard's sharp claws were only a second away from young Feng's neck. If it had only one more second, it could have pierced young Feng's neck. However, the leopard was already dead, and its sharp claws fell down powerlessly, unable to hurt young Feng. This leopard is much stronger than the third-level Blue Wolf King. Young Feng sighed softly, and the palm holding the sword flicked lightly, and the leopard's body was thrown out. Afterwards, young Feng held the bloody Qing Feng sword and walked quickly towards the direction of the blood spirit grass. There is danger. But when young Feng approached the blood spirit grass and was about to bend down to pick it, a chill surged from his bottom, causing him to move and quickly dodge to the side. Whoosh! With a crisp sound of breaking through the air, a dark crossbow arrow passed by where young Feng had just stood and pierced into the hard rock wall on the side of the blood spirit grass. I'm going to kill this blood spirit grass. If you don't want to die, leave here immediately, otherwise don't blame me for being ruthless. At this time, a loud voice came from not far away. A young man in white clothes, holding a sword in one hand and a crossbow in the other, slowly walked towards the place where the blood spirit grass was. It's not impossible for you to take this blood spirit grass. As long as you kill me, not only this blood spirit grass is yours, but also all my belongings are yours. Young Feng looked at the young man in white who was walking slowly, his eyes flashing with murderous light, and responded in a cold tone. While speaking, young Feng moved his body, performed the step of following the shape, turned into a residual shadow, and rushed to the side of the young man in white. What a fast speed! Seeing Yang Feng's action, the young man in white flashed a look of shock in his eyes, exclaimed, raised his crossbow, aimed at Yang Feng and pulled the trigger. Instantly, a dark crossbow arrow shot out from the crossbow of the young man in white and shot towards Yang Feng. However, Yang Feng's body was very flexible. These dark crossbow arrows could not lock onto Yang Feng's position, let alone hit him. They flew past Yang Feng's side and shot into the hard rock walls of the valley. Seeing this scene, the young man in white's eyes flashed fiercely, roared angrily, raised the sharp sword in his hand, and used sharp swordsmanship to stab Yang Feng's body. Xian Tian sword technique. Facing the long sword attack of the young man in white, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged. He let out a soft drink, and launched the Xiantian sword technique. The Qin Feng sword in his hand was swung out, with a sharp edge, directed towards the sharp edge of the young man in white. Long sword, bang! There was a crisp sound of metal collision, and the Qin Feng sword in Yang Feng's hand collided with the sharp long sword of the young man in white. At this time, a terrifying force burst out from the Qin Feng sword, instantly knocking away the sharp sword of the young man in white. Finally, the Qin Feng sword, with its sharp edge, pierced into the body of the young man in white, shattering his internal organs, causing blood to spatter, and he died tragically on the spot. I originally thought that the space channel was randomly teleported. Everyone who entered the Blood Spirit secret realm would be randomly teleported to every corner of the Blood Spirit secret realm. It would be very difficult to meet them. But this disciple of the Divine Sword Villa has obviously been teleported near me, otherwise he wouldn't have met me so quickly. It can be seen that although the space channel is randomly teleported, the range of random teleportation is limited. It is very likely that everyone will be teleported to a nearby area. Looking at the body of the young man in white, Yang Feng's head was racing. After muttering softly, he bent down and took off the space ring from the finger of the young man in white and checked its belongings. Window, _tabula equals window, _tabula, _tabula. Push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300x250, target _type, mix. Chapter 16, Advancement to the Mana Realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 16, Promotion to Dharma Realm Monk. 6 bottles of spirit pills, 80 bottles of spirit pills, 150,000 gold tickets, 3 quasi-magical weapon-level weapons, some food and drinking water, not bad. Looking at the items in the space ring of the young man in white, a faint smile flashed in Yang Feng's eyes and he murmured softly, after muttering, Yang Feng transferred the spirit pill, Jing pill, golden ticket and quasi-magical weapon to his space ring, then quickly walked to the blood spirit grass, picked the blood spirit grass, and stored it in the space in the ring. Although my strength is good, among the outer disciples of the 5 sects, I am considered to be the top group of warriors. But my strength is not necessarily the strongest, let alone the ability to run rampant and crush people of the same level. Therefore, the most important thing for me now is not to look for the blood spirit grass, but to improve my cultivation strength, break through the bottleneck of the Gangchi realm, and be promoted to a Dharma realm monk. As the saying goes, hard work never stops chopping wood. After I am promoted to a monk in the Dharma realm, my efficiency in finding the blood spirit grass will increase more than 10 times, and I will become the top expert among the outer disciples of the 5 sects. No longer afraid of any threats, Yang Feng glanced at the body of the young man in white, his heart moved, he murmured softly, and then slowly entered the leopard's cave. After carefully checking Huabao's cave and finding no danger, Yang Feng took out a set of array discs from the space ring and placed them at the entrance of the cave. This set of array discs was bought by Yang Feng in Xiantian City. It has psychedelic and warning effects. Once someone enters the cave, the array will immediately sound an alarm, giving Yang Feng a time to prepare, so that others will not be attacked by surprise. After doing all this, Yang Feng sat cross-legged deep in the cave, took out a bottle of spiritual elixir, poured one out of it, swallowed it, and used Xiantian Ju to refine the medicine in it. Time passed quickly like running water. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. During these 3 days, Yang Feng practiced wholeheartedly. With the help of the spiritual pill and the 10,000 times training effect return system, Yang Feng's spirit strengthened more than 10 times, and became more tenacious and solid, reaching a saturated state, looking like he wanted to overflow. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng immediately knew that the time had come to attack the Dharma realm. Therefore, Yang Feng immediately mobilized his pure and solid spirit to attack Tianmen. Boom! 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 Violent roars sounded in Yang Feng's mind. Under the impact of Yang Feng's powerful spirit, the hard Tianmen was like window paper, easily penetrated by the spirit. Immediately afterwards, Yang Feng's huge spirit crossed the Tianmen and entered chaos. Open it for me. At this time, Yang Feng roared angrily, controlled his spirit completely, and according to the secret method recorded in Xiantianju, opened up the sea of consciousness in the chaos. Boom! 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 Along with violent roars, the chaos deep in the Tianmen was split open by Yang Juancheng's spirit. A unique space was born from the chaos, and continued to expand under the support of Yang Feng's spirit. Seeing this scene, a look of surprise flashed in Yang Feng's eyes. His sea of consciousness had opened up, so he frantically stirred up the spirit in his body and poured it into the sea of consciousness, hoping to continue to expand the sea of consciousness. According to the ancient records of the Shentian sect, the sea of consciousness is located deep in the monk's Tianmen, and it is easiest to expand only when it is first opened. Once you miss it, it will be very difficult to expand the sea of consciousness in the future, and you will need to consume a large amount of natural materials, and you may not be able to expand the sea of consciousness much. And the recipe where the Dharma of the sea of consciousness was born, and the recipe where stores the Dharma, the wider the sea of consciousness, the more dharmas are born and the more dharmas can be stored. The smaller the sea of consciousness, the smaller the dharma that is born, and the smaller the dharma that can be stored. The size of the method directly determines the strength of a monk. The monks who know more about the sea are stronger in strength and deeper in potential. Because the sea of consciousness is small, it has a great impact on the monks. Therefore, many excellent Gang-Chi realm warriors will stay in the Gang-Chi realm for a long time to enhance their mental strength as much as possible. In this way, when they open up the sea of consciousness, they can expand the sea of consciousness as much as possible and lay a solid foundation for future practice. Yang Feng's spirit reached a state of saturation and he was extremely tenacious. Therefore, after it opened up the sea of consciousness, the sea of consciousness continued to expand and extend outward with sufficient spiritual supply, and continued to drive the infinite chaos outward. When Yang Feng's energy was gradually exhausted and the speed of the expansion of the consciousness sea dropped rapidly, gradually slowed down, and slowly stopped, the area of his consciousness sea was already 10 times larger than that of ordinary monks. Ding! You have opened up the sea of consciousness, and the cultivation effect will be returned 10,000 times, and the area of your sea of consciousness will be expanded 10,000 times. At this time, a crisp reminder sounded in Yang Feng's ears. Mysterious energy entered Yang Feng's sea of consciousness, causing it to stop expanding. It quickly spread outwards and expanded until the sea of consciousness expanded 10,000 times before stopping. As Yang Feng's sea of consciousness stopped expanding, a trace of pure Dharma was born from the sea of consciousness and floated to the depths of his sea of consciousness. Ding! You have cultivated a trace of Dharma, and the cultivation effect will be returned 10,000 times, and your Dharma will be increased 10,000 times. As a crisp prompt sounded in Yang Feng's ears, traces of pure Dharma were born from his sea of consciousness, making his empty sea of consciousness filled with countless threads of Dharma. Immediately afterwards, streams of pure energy poured out from Yang Feng's body, beginning to strengthen his blood and flesh cells and enhance his physical strength. When the pure energy faded, Yang Feng could clearly feel that his life had changed. The activity and vitality of his blood and flesh cells increased, and his lifespan increased from years to 5 years. It is said that Yang Feng can live for 5 years without any accidents. If Yang Feng is willing, he can settle down in a city of a secular dynasty, marry several wives, give birth to a bunch of children, start a small immortal cultivating family, become the overlord of a party, and enjoy a lifetime of glory. However, Yang Feng is only 16 years old this year. He is still very young. He still wants to pursue the supreme path and eternal life, but he does not want to give up so early and go to the secular world to marry a wife and have children and enjoy glory and wealth. I have been promoted to a Dharma realm monk, and my overall strength and combat skills have increased more than twice. It's just that I don't have any martial arts skills at the Dharma realm. I can only continue to practice after I return to Xiantian's sect and acquire the martial arts skills at the Dharma realm and above. Feeling the surging magic and terrifying power in his body, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with excitement, and he whispered to himself with a smile on his face. After muttering to himself, Yang Feng stood up and walked towards the entrance of the cave. Now that he has been promoted to a Dharma realm monk and has no further training methods, Yang Feng is not going to waste time on hard training. He is ready to explore the blood spirit secret realm and obtain as much blood spirit grass as possible. After all, the amount of blood spirit grass obtained will directly affect Yang Feng's position and cultivation resources of Xiantian's sect. Chapter 17, Seizing the Blood Spirit Grass. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You have a lot of magic in your body, you can fly in the air and realize your wish to fly. But you don't know how to fly in the air. You have magic but can't fly. After leaving the valley, Yang Feng looked at the birds flying in the sky and couldn't help but sigh softly. In fact, Yang Junqing couldn't fly in the air, and couldn't cast various spells, and even couldn't cast swordsmanship, because these spells belonging to the magic realm cultivators, Yang Feng had never learned them at all, and he didn't know them at all, and he didn't create them himself. So he just had to return to Xiantian's sect to study, at this time. Although Yang Feng was promoted to the magic realm cultivator, his cultivation had greatly increased, but Yang Feng's combat level was still at the Gangqi realm. However, because of the magic, Yang Feng's power increased by hundreds of times when he used the martial arts of the Gangqi realm, and his combat power also increased by hundreds of times. This is also the confidence of Yang Feng to take the initiative to find the blood spirit grass. After a murmur, Yang Feng held the Qingfeng sword and continued to walk forward to the forest. There is a blood spirit grass in front of the left. When a crisp dripping sound came from the blood spirit ring on Yang Feng's left wrist, Yang Feng's eyes lit up, and he muttered softly, and then rushed to the direction where the blood spirit grass was. Roar! 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 As soon as Yang Feng approached the blood spirit grass, a series of angry roars came from the mouth of a first-level beast black tiger. Hearing the roar of the high-ranking beast black tiger, Yang Feng's expression did not change. He flashed and turned into a stream of light, rushing straight at the high-ranking beast black tiger. Seeing Yang Feng take the initiative to attack him, a ferocious look flashed in the eyes of the high-ranking beast black tiger. With a roar, he stepped forward with 4 hooves, turned into a stream of black light, and rushed straight at Yang Feng. During this process, the high-ranking beast black tiger stretched out its sharp claws and grabbed Yang Feng's body, as if it wanted to tear Yang Feng into pieces. However, the high-ranking beast black tiger's sharp claws, before touching Yang Feng, were pierced through the head by the sharp sword light released by the Qingfeng sword in Yang Feng's body, and died tragically on the spot. After killing the first-level beast black tiger with 1 sword, Yang Feng swung it and put it into the space ring, then walked quickly to the blood spirit grass, picked it up and put it into the space ring. After that, Yang Feng's expression did not change, holding the Qingfeng sword, and continued to explore the mountains and forests. Soon, the blood spirit ring on Yang Feng's left wrist sensed the existence of the blood spirit grass. Then Yang Feng rushed to the place where the blood spirit grass was according to the arrow of the blood spirit ring. However, what surprised Yang Feng was that the blood spirit grass found by the blood spirit ring was actually on a puppet sect disciple. Hand over the blood spirit grass, I can spare your life, otherwise this is your burial place. Yang Feng looked at the puppet sect disciple not far away, his expression did not change, and he threatened in a cold tone. There is no law in the blood spirit secret realm, and it completely follows the naked jungle law. If the puppet sect disciple was unwilling to hand over the blood spirit grass, Yang Feng would not mind killing him to get the treasure. Thank you, senior brother, for not killing me. This is the blood spirit grass. Please keep it. Feeling the terrifying aura emanating from Yang Feng, the puppet sect disciple's eyes flashed with fear, and he quickly took out a blood spirit grass from his arms and handed it to Yang Feng respectfully. Very good. You can go now. Young Feng took the blood spirit grass, put it into the space ring, and said calmly. Yes, senior brother, the puppet sect disciple responded respectfully, and then slowly retreated with his spider puppet. When he was more than 100 meters away from Yang Feng, the puppet sect disciple turned around, put away the spider puppet, and ran wildly into the distant mountains and forests, fearing that he would be killed by Yang Feng if he was a little slower. Seeing that the puppet sect disciple disappeared from his sight, Yang Feng retracted his gaze, holding the Qingfeng sword, and continued to look for the blood spirit grass in the nearby mountains and forests. In a lush jungle, more than a few disciples of the beast-taming sect in the Gangxi realm commanded several first-level beasts to surround Yang Feng. The leading disciple of the beast-taming sect stood out from the crowd and threatened Yang Feng with a murderous look on his face. Son, hand over the space ring on you, and we can spare your life. Otherwise today will be your death. Hearing the words of the beast-taming sect disciple, Yang Feng's expression did not change, and he said in a cold tone, leave the space ring and the blood spirit grass, kneel down and kowtow to you to apologize, and we can spare your life, otherwise this will be your burial place. Hearing Yang Feng's words, for the first disciple of the beast-taming sect looked at Yang Feng carefully, a gleam in his eyes, and said with a murderous look on his face, boy, you are very arrogant. I just don't know if you have the money to be arrogant. While speaking, the first disciple of the beast-taming sect waved his hand and ordered loudly, kill him. Immediately afterwards, more than 30 disciples of the beast-taming sect used secret techniques to activate several 10-level beasts, turning them into streams of light and rushing towards Yang Feng, ready to tear Yang Feng into pieces. Facing the attack of several 10-level beasts, Yang Feng's expression did not change. With a move of his body, he disappeared from the spot and appeared among several 10-level beasts. Afterwards, Yang Feng performed the Shen sword technique, and swung the Qingfeng sword in his hand, with an incomparably sharp edge, easily killing the high-level beasts one by one, turning them into broken corpses. This is not possible. This is not possible. How can your strength be so strong? Dharma realm monk? You must be a Dharma realm monk, otherwise you wouldn't be so powerful. Come together and kill him. Don't stay any longer, use your trump cards immediately, and be sure to kill him, otherwise we will all die under his sword. Don't keep the ones with the talisman in there. Take them out quickly and destroy them. Seeing how ferocious Yang Feng was, the faces of the other disciples of the beast control sect changed greatly, and they couldn't help but exclaimed. Amidst the exclamations, some beast control sect disciples took out individual talismans from the space rings, activated them, and threw them towards Yang Feng. Suddenly, khaki-colored spears, scorching fireballs, ice arrows and other magic attacks burst out from the talisman and struck at Yang Feng's body. He looked like he wanted to kill Yang Feng on the spot. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng's face changed slightly. He gave a light drink, and the magic in his body surged, pouring it into the Qingfeng sword, causing the Qingfeng sword to flourish, releasing sharp sword lights one after another, and facing those long swords. Spear, fireball, ice arrow and other spell attacks. Bang! 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 Amidst the crisp sounds, the sharp sword light collided with spell attacks such as spears, fireballs, and ice arrows, shattering the spears, fireballs, ice arrows, and other attacks, causing them to glow and disappear. Immediately afterwards, Yang Feng moved and approached more than a dozen beast-controlling sect disciples. He swung out the Qingfeng sword in his hand, and with its sharp edge, it easily cut through the throats of the remaining beast-controlling sect disciples. His blood spattered and he died tragically on the spot. After that, Yang Feng collected all the space rings and belongings of the remaining disciples of the beast control sect, and counted them, and obtained 6 blood spirit grasses, 6 bottles of Xuanhuan pill, and 108 bottles of essence. Dan, as well as a large number of golden tickets, food, drinking water and other items. Yang Feng will get the trophies from a famous beast control sect disciple, put them all into the space ring, then move, disappear from the place, and explore in other directions. Chapter 18 Taking Blood Spirit Grass. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A lot of blood spirit grass. Looking at the patches of blood spirit grass in front of him, especially one of them, which was more than 3 feet tall, extremely bright red, exuding a strong medicinal fragrance and obviously older than 100 years. Yang Feng's eyes lit up, and he couldn't help but exclaimed, his face was full of excitement, roar. 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 At this moment, angry beast roars sounded from near the blood spirit grass. A tall tiger with fiery red hair all over his body, a king mark on his forehead, and a burning flame all over his body walked out of the forest on the side of the blood spirit grass. The 4th level ferocious beast, the flaming tiger, looking at the fiery red tiger that suddenly appeared, Yang Feng's face changed slightly and he exclaimed softly. When Yang Feng exclaimed, a scorching flame surged out from the 4th level ferocious beast, the flame tiger, and shot towards Yang Feng with its scorching breath, as if it wanted to burn Yang Feng to ashes. Facing the attack of the scorching flames, Yang Feng let out a light drink and used the Xianjian sword technique to attack them. He easily shattered the scorching flames, causing them to glow with red light and disappear. Immediately afterwards, Yang Feng's figure moved, formed an afterimage, and rushed towards the flame tiger, preparing to use his sharp swordsmanship to kill the flame tiger. However, the flame tiger was extremely smart and did not give Yang Feng a chance to get close. It directly jumped into the air, suspended in the void dozens of meters, and launched a flame attack at Yang Feng. Suddenly, only streaks of scorching flames were seen, constantly flying out from the flame tiger and attacking Yang Feng. Facing the intensive flame attack, Yang Feng frowned slightly and swung the Qingfeng sword in his hand, crushing the scorching flames. It's definitely not going to work like this. It's too passive. After smashing hundreds of flames in succession, Yang Feng's eyes flashed fiercely, and with a murmur, he took out a jade talisman from the space ring, activated it, and went towards the flame tiger. Immediately afterwards, I saw a sharp sword light shooting out from the jade talisman, with sharp edge and terrifying power, slashing towards the flaming tiger. Bang! In the midst of a crisp sound, the fiery tiger's head was pierced by the sharp sword light, blood spattered, and he died tragically on the spot. The body fell from the void and fell hard to the ground, splashing a cloud of dust. The power of this jade talisman is so powerful that it instantly killed the 4th level ferocious beast, the flame tiger. Li Qing gave me a total of 4 jade talismans, 3 of which are offensive jade talismans. Each jade talisman contains terrifying power. Once activated, it is equivalent to a full blow from a monk in the human realm. It is very powerful. The other one is a defensive jade talisman, which can release a protective shield to block the full blow of the human realm monk. I have a powerful jade talisman, and my other brothers must also have powerful jade talismans. When I meet other brothers, I still have to be careful to avoid capsizing in the gutter. Without looking at the body of the 4th level ferocious beast fiery tiger, Yang Feng secretly sighed in his heart. After that, Yang Feng put the body of the flame tiger into the space ring with a big wave and began to pick the blood spirit grass. 160 blood spirit grasses, including one that is about 150 years old. It's really a fortune. It would be such a loss to just hand over all these blood spirit grasses to the sect. After all, blood spirit grass is extremely precious. If you miss this opportunity, it will be difficult to obtain blood spirit grass again in the future. I heard that blood spirit grass can be taken directly, but the effect is far less than that of Bloodline. It's such a waste. However, the quantity of blood spirit grass in the collection is not enough. It doesn't matter if it is wasted. If after I swallow the blood spirit grass, my bloodline will improve and I will awaken my bloodline talent, I will make a lot of money. After picking all the blood spirit grass, Yang Feng murmured softly, moved his body, and galloped towards the cave where he had retreated. Soon, Yang Feng came to the cave before, placed the array at the entrance of the cave, walked deep into the cave, sat cross-legged, took out a blood spirit grass from the 90s, and swallowed it, as the blood spirit grass was consumed. Traces of mysterious energy surged out from the blood spirit grass and penetrated into Yang Feng's flesh and blood cells, enhancing the activity, toughness and strength of his flesh and blood cells. At this time, Yang Feng's heart moved, and he started to use the Xianjie technique, trying to use Xianjie's method to activate the mysterious energy emitted by the blood spirit grass and make it circulate in the body according to the Xianjie meridians. However, what makes Yang Feng helpless is that the mysterious energy in the blood spirit grass is extremely special, and the magic root of Xian Jie cannot activate it, let alone make it run according to the meridians of Xian Jie. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng could only give up helplessly and quietly feel the change of mysterious energy in his body. After the mysterious energy in his body dissipated, Yang Feng was surprised to find that his cell activity, toughness, and strength had increased a lot, and his cultivation talent had also improved a lot. However, the improvement in cultivation talent is extremely small. If Yang Feng hadn't felt it carefully, he wouldn't have noticed it at all. The effect of taking blood spirit grass directly is indeed too small. If the blood spirit grass can be refined into blood, the effect can be increased by dozens or hundreds of times. It's just that with my current status, even if the sect develops bloodline, I won't be able to buy a single pill. So, I can only take more blood spirit grass. As long as I take enough blood spirit grass, the final effect will definitely be no worse than taking bloodline, and the bloodline talent will definitely be born. After feeling the changes in his body, Yang Feng muttered softly, took out a blood spirit grass, and continued to swallow it. After swallowing the first blood spirit grass and refining it, Yang Feng found that his blood and flesh cells were a little stronger, and his talent was also improved. This made Yang Feng very excited, and he immediately took out the third blood spirit grass and continued to swallow and refine it. Soon, Yang Feng swallowed and refined a total of 64 blood spirit grasses that were 90 years old. Under the mysterious energy of the 64 blood spirit grasses, Yang Feng's blood finally improved, his cultivation talent increased by more than double, and he awakened the blood talent of controlling fire. However, Yang Feng's fire control talent was extremely poor, only the lowest level of fire control talent. Not only was the power small, but also could not last long. However, Yang Feng did not care about it. For Yang Feng, as long as he can give birth to the blood talent, it's fine. As for the quality of the blood talent, it doesn't matter. After all, as long as he has the blood spirit grass, Yang Feng can continue to swallow the blood spirit grass to refine it and continue to strengthen his blood talent. As long as he swallows enough blood spirit grass to refine it, no matter how bad or trashy the blood talent is, Yang Feng has the confidence to improve it to the top blood talent. Chapter 19 Intermediate Bloodline Talent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I still have more than 100 blood spirit grasses in my hand. I wonder if my bloodline talent will be upgraded and evolved after swallowing and refining all of them. Looking at the flame on his fingertips, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with expectation, and he whispered softly. While muttering, Yang Feng took out all the other blood spirit grasses, placed them beside him, and swallowed and refined them one by one. The next morning, Yang Feng swallowed and refined the last 150 or so blood spirit grasses. A series of mysterious information flowed out from his blood and appeared in his mind, allowing him to instantly control and manipulate the power of fire, and he could cast more than a dozen basic fire spells such as Fireball, Rocket, Fire Crow, and Flame Shield. My fire control talent has been upgraded to the intermediate level, activating the gene imprint in my blood, allowing me to obtain some flame inheritance memories imprinted deep in my blood genes. If my fire control talent can be upgraded to the advanced, top, or even immortal level, I can activate more blood gene imprints and obtain more flame inheritance memories. Feeling the changes in his body, especially sensing the more than one basic flame spell memory in his mind, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with excitement, and he couldn't help but look forward to it. After a self-talk, Yang Feng stood up and walked out of the cave. The fourth level ferocious beast, the blood wolf. Looking at the blood wolf in front of him, which was more than a meter tall and covered with blood-colored hair, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with a gleam of light. He shouted softly and cast the fireball spell, condensing basketball-sized fireballs and bombarding the blood wolf. Facing the fireball attack, the blood wolf let out angry roars, and the magic power surged all over its body. Blood arrows condensed in the void, carrying terrifying power, meeting the fireballs, colliding with them in mid-air, making violent explosions, and finally turning into dots of light and disappearing into thin air. Seeing this, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged. With a thought, a long fiery red arrow condensed in the void, carrying terrifying power and scorching flames, flashed through the void like lightning, and shot towards the blood wolf. Roar. Roar! Roar! Feeling the terrifying power contained in the fiery red arrow, the blood wolf let out a series of angry roars, opened its mouth, and a blood arrow about a foot long flew out of its mouth, carrying terrifying power, meeting the fiery red arrow, bang. In a violent collision, the blood arrow about a foot long was shattered by the fiery red arrow, turned into dots of red light and disappeared into thin air. The fiery red arrow continued to move forward, piercing the blood wolf's head, causing blood to splatter and killing it on the spot. As soon as the blood wolf died, Feng stepped forward, put its body into the space ring, and then quickly walked towards a patch of blood spirit grass behind the snow wolf. 100 blood spirit grasses, including 100 or so blood spirit grasses, not bad. After a simple count of the number of blood spirit grasses, Feng muttered softly, and began to bend down to pick blood spirit grasses. Soon, Feng picked more than 100 blood spirit grasses, put them all into the space ring, and explored other places. Ding! 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 When Feng was walking through the forest, a series of crisp reminder sounds came from the blood spirit ring, which made him immediately look at the blood spirit ring. There is a blood spirit grass 1,000 meters to the left. Seeing the arrow on the blood spirit ring, a faint smile flashed in Feng's eyes. He muttered softly, took a step, and rushed to the left front. Puppet sect disciple. Looking at the puppet sect disciple who was manipulating the combat puppet to attack the first-level beast not far ahead, Feng muttered softly, and with a thought, he condensed a basketball-sized fireball and bombarded the first-level beast. Boom! In a loud explosion, the first-rank beast that was fighting with the battle puppet had its head smashed by the scorching fireball, becoming a headless corpse. Seeing this, the puppet sect disciple's face changed drastically, and he quickly put away the battle puppet and fled far away, not staying there at all, and dared not argue with Feng who had intercepted him. Looking at the fleeing puppet sect disciple, Feng quickly walked to a blood spirit grass of about 8 or so, picked it, and put it into the space ring. After that, Feng's expression remained unchanged, and he continued to explore the forest. Whoosh! 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 Amidst the crisp sounds of breaking through the air, sharp arrows shot out from the dense jungle and poured towards Feng, as if they wanted to shoot Feng into a hedgehog. Seeing this, Feng's expression remained unchanged, and he swung the Qinfeng sword in his hand, turning into a series of afterimages, easily knocking away the sharp arrows, making them unable to hurt him at all. Then, Feng's eyes flashed with a fierce light, and with a thought, basketball-sized fireballs condensed in the void, carrying the power of scorching flames, and shot into the dense jungle. Boom! 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 Accompanied by violent explosions, the disciples of the Divine Sword Manor who were hiding in the jungle were hit by the scorching fireballs and died tragically on the spot, turning into broken corpses. With 2 or 4 space rings, this disciple of the Divine Sword Manor has hunted down many disciples of other sects. Feng walked to the corpses wearing the clothes of the disciples of Xinjian Manor, and after taking out all the space rings on them, he sighed with surprise. After sighing, Feng opened the 24 space rings one by one and checked the items inside. Soon, 72 blood spirit grasses, 182 bottles of essence pills, 52 bottles of Xuanhuan pills, more than 2 million gold notes, more than 100 corpses of high-level beasts and other items entered Feng's field of vision. Feng sighed that the harvest was good, and put them into different space rings according to categories. Then, Feng took a look at the corpse of the disciple of the Divine Sword Village, and his body moved, turning into a residual shadow, and continued to explore other places. Boom! 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 Amidst the violent roars, a large signal flare bloomed in the air, releasing a dazzling light, illuminating the area of several miles in radius. This is the sect signal flare, and there are a lot of blood spirit grass nearby. Looking at the signal flares in the air, Feng's eyes lit up and whispered softly. After muttering, Feng glanced at the indicator arrow on the blood spirit ring, and rushed to the location of the signal flare along the direction of the indicator arrow. Before entering the blood spirit secret realm, Feng and the top disciples on the outer sect elite ranking list all received a signal flare. When encountering a large number of blood spirit grass, Feng and others can release signal flares to summon nearby sect disciples. and for the nearby sect disciples, after the signal flare is launched, the special formation of the blood spirit ring on their wrists will be activated, showing the route to the location of the signal flare. These sect disciples who receive the summoning signal flare information must rush to the area where the signal flare is as soon as possible, otherwise they will be strictly examined by the sect, and if they are not careful, they will be severely punished by the sect. Window _tabula equals window _tabula dot push mode thumbs feed 01 container tabula below article thumbnail 300x250 placement below article thumbnail 300 by 250 target _type mix. Chapter 20 Destroying the Armored Cattle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When young Feng arrived outside a valley, Xuanhuan sect disciples were already waiting outside the valley, and they all turned their attention to young Feng. After sensing that young Feng's body inadvertently emitted a powerful aura, the faces of these Xuanhuan sect disciples changed drastically, and they couldn't help but exclaimed. Young Feng is here. Young Feng has been promoted to a Mana Realm monk. Young Feng must be the only disciple of the sect this year. This is really shocking. Within less than half a year in the sect, he was promoted to a Mana Realm monk. Yang Feng's talent is so good. Our Xuanhuan sect has discovered a peerless talent. With a peerless genius like Yang Feng, we are even more confident of defeating the armored cattle herd. That among the crowd's exclamations, a young man wearing the clothes of an outer sect disciple, with a strong physique and exuding mana fluctuations, walked quickly to Yang Feng and said with a smile on his face, I am the elite of the outer sect. First Li Qi, welcome you. With Yang Feng, we will be much more confident in capturing the valley. After speaking, Li Qi took the initiative to introduce the situation in the valley to Yang Feng without waiting for Yang Feng to ask. After Li Qi's introduction, Yang Feng knew that there was a spiritual medicine garden in the valley, with thousands of blood spirit grasses in it, including a blood spirit grass, named PB, and blood spirit grass. However, there is a herd of armored cattle guarding the outside of the elixir garden. If you want to obtain the blood spirit grass in the elixir garden in the valley, you must first destroy the armored cattle herd. There are thousands of armored cattle in the armored cattle herd, including 1 yin-yang mirror armored cattle, 6 mana level armored cattle, several gangxia level armored cattle, and the others are all 1. The second order armored ox. Senior brotherly, we have more than 1,000 fellow disciples here. It will be difficult to wipe out the armored cattle herd. After listening to Li Qi's introduction, Yang Feng frowned slightly and said softly. Junior brother Yang, more than 1,000 fellow brothers are enough. Wait a minute, I will be responsible for killing the level yin-yang mirror beast and the 6 4th level mana realm beasts. You are responsible for leading more than 1,000 fellow disciples to quickly destroy thousands of other armored cattle without giving up. They destroyed the elixir garden and the blood spirit grass. Actually, if I hadn't destroyed the blood spirit grass in the elixir garden before worrying that the armored cattle would die, I would have killed all the armored cattle in the valley by myself. After hearing what Yang Feng said, Li Qi said with a confident look on his face. Hearing Li Qi's words, he thought that he was a direct descendant of the city lord Li Su of Xuanhuan City. He must have a lot of treasures, and his strength and fighting power must be far superior to those of the same level of monks. He nodded gently and said, Senior brotherly, don't worry, I won't let the armored ox destroy a blood spirit grass. After getting Yang Feng's affirmative answer, Li Qi nodded lightly, without any hesitation, and immediately gathered more than 1,000 Xuanhuan sect disciples in front of the valley. After making a simple arrangement, he rose into the air and made a line. The stream of light flew towards the valley. As expected of a disciple of a big family, I have indeed obtained the Mana Realm follow-up technique in advance. Seeing Li Qi rising into the sky, Yang Feng murmured softly, and rushed towards the valley with more than 1,000 Xuanhuan sect disciples. Roar! 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 At this time, the sound of angry beast roars came from the valley. 1 was more than 3 feet tall, and 6 were more than 20 feet tall. The armored cattle were covered with hard scales. They flew from the valley with their eyes wide open. A pair of bull's eyes, making streams of light, rushed straight towards Li Qi, facing the attacks of a level and 6 level 4 armored oxen. Li Qi's expression remained unchanged. He turned his palm over and a golden long sword exuding strong mana fluctuations appeared in his palm, and he waved it. Then, he released a series of sharp golden sword lights and bombarded the 7 armored cows. Bang! 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 Amidst the crisp sounds of metal collisions, sharp golden sword lights slashed down 7 armored cows one after another, sparking bright sparks, but they were unable to cut through the armor of the armored cows. However, although the golden sword light did not cut off the scales of the armored bull, it completely angered the armored bull, causing the armored bull to roar with great anger. Its eyes turned blood red, and it rushed towards Li Qi madly, seeing that the 4th level and level armored oxen in the valley were lured away by Li Qi. Feng immediately accelerated his pace and rushed into the valley. Roar! 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 At this time, angry roars came from the valley. Thousands of armored cattle, heads lowered, rushed towards Feng, as if they wanted to kill Feng and trample on his meat. Seeing this scene, Feng's expression remained unchanged. As soon as he moved, he made a stream of light and took the initiative to meet the armored cows. He waved the green sharp sword in his hand, and with the sharp sword light, he easily killed each of the armored cows. In a matter of seconds, more than a 3rd level armored bull at the front of the charge was beheaded by Feng's Qingfeng sword, turning them into broken corpses on the spot. Seeing how ferocious Feng was, the other armored bulls roared in horror one after another, immediately stopped charging, turned around and fled into the valley. Some of the armored oxen even ran towards the elixir garden, hoping to destroy the elixir garden. Want to destroy the elixir garden? It's simply a delusion. Seeing the actions of the armored bulls, Feng snorted coldly, and then moved his body, performing the shadow-like step, leaving a shadow, and quickly chased the fleeing armored bulls, killing them one by one with a sword, making it impossible for them to get close to the spiritual medicine garden. After that, Feng did not chase the other armored bulls, but directly guarded the spiritual medicine garden to prevent other armored bulls from attacking the spiritual medicine garden. Kill! 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 Seeing Feng so fierce, more than 1,000 outer disciples of Xiantian sect roared, waved the Qingfeng sword in their hands, performed Xiantian sword technique, and launched a fierce attack on other armored bulls. These outer disciples of Xiantian sect are all elites in the Gangxi realm, and they are very experienced in fighting. It is very easy to deal with thousands of armored bulls. They can easily kill an armored bull and turn it into a broken corpse. It won't be long before thousands of armored bulls in the valley will be killed by more than 1,000 outer disciples of Xiantian sect. At this time, Li Qi, who was fighting with a 1st level and 6 4th level armored bulls in the sky, saw that Feng and others had taken control of the situation in the valley, so he no longer hesitated and immediately took out a jade talisman from the space ring, activated it, and rushed towards the 7 armored bulls. Suddenly, a series of sharp golden sword lights shot out from the jade talisman, with an extremely sharp edge, easily piercing through the bodies of the 7 armored bulls, causing them to bleed and die tragically on the spot, falling from the sky, and falling heavily to the ground, breaking into countless bloody and flesh fragments, splashing around. Then, Li Qi's mind moved, and he used the sword control technique to urge the golden long sword in his hand, turning it into a golden stream of light, launching a fierce attack on the remaining iron-armored bulls, and easily killing them one by one. Window_tabula equals window_tabula_tabula.push mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target_type, mix.